Welcome to our Rollout for Powerful Learning webinar series. We have entered the home stretch for sure. This is the first of our two-part finale where we're going to showcase the rollouts that have happened prior to September 15th. So thanks for being here with us. Our Verizon Innovative Learning Schools team, all-star team of Raheen Mohammed, Steve Brown, and myself will be leading today, but more importantly, our guests of honor, we'll have 4 districts with us that are sharing about their rollout with you today. You will find in the chat, if you haven't yet, a digital handout that will link you to a lot of the things that we talk about today and resources that we share. As we do so, our outcomes, we hope that we have a chance to celebrate the schools and districts who have rolled out already. And we also hope those of you who aren't presenting today will be able to enjoy. We hope you've already discovered the wealth of collective knowledge and experience in your cohort and with other Ville schools. We hope you have a chance to gain from those who are sharing today. For all of our sessions, we have this digital handout that I mentioned, and we hope that it can be sort of a one-stop shop for all things throughout the rollout. So when you open that, you should hopefully see something like this. You can scroll all the way to the bottom. So we've been collecting previous webinars up top, but all the way down at the bottom, you should see the rollout showcase and these 7 links that we'll be using today. And our focus is ongoing success, right? Not just a rollout, of course. So if you'd like, you can have your rollout planner open as well. And please, we know that many of you have already rolled out, but we hope that you capture some notes today about some things that really stand out to you that you might use in future rollouts in future years. Also, if you are a hotspot school and you're wondering what on earth a rollout planner is, the words implementation planner might mean more to you. So you might have that out in front of you if you're a hotspot school. We always like to point out some norms that we want to encourage to best make use of our time together. So we want to hear from you. We realize that there are things that happen in the background. So if you would mute your mic when you're not sharing, and then unmute when you're ready to speak. Always, please, anytime we can provide anything or you have any questions, just pop those into the chat. Don't hesitate. And we realize that there's a lot circling around you. You're probably in a school building or district office, and there's a lot there. But we encourage you to be mindful and be as present as you can in your situation. And speaking of being present, if you would also let us know that you are here, you'll see a link to kind of an attendance check-in. If you would quickly fill that out, if you wouldn't mind, we'd appreciate that. And then be kind to yourself and others. We are so grateful to have these schools presenting to us today. You'll have opportunities to engage with them after they share. Anything you're curious about, if you want to give them a virtual pat on the back or whatever the case may be, there'll be opportunities for that as well. Raheen, I'll hand it to you.
All right, thank you so much, Zach. Once again, thank you everyone for attending. Still a very busy time of the year as you roll out the Ville's program in your schools and your buildings. So let's just take a moment to look at our agenda for today. Notice that our main focus for today is our 6 elements of success inclusion activity, and then the rollout presentations, followed by the moment that you've all been waiting for, the prize drawing, and then the next steps. So moving along, as we launch with our inclusion activity, we want you to just take a moment to reflect on the 6 elements of success. I know you have all seen those before. We've discussed them before. Definitely, if you're an extension school, but C9 schools, you will definitely hear a lot about that. So you can go ahead and open link number 2 in your digital handout, or access the link in the chat. Hopefully someone is putting that in. But as you open the 6 Elements portfolio guide, notice that the examples to support your rollout reflection as you add artifacts to your portfolio during your VILS journey. We want you to take a moment to think about which of these elements were most important to the success of your rollout event. And that's kind of what we will be asking you about in the next Mentimeter that we will be presenting. All right, so hopefully you have something in mind about how your rollout event went, which element of success was crucial for that. So we kind of want you to share that out with everyone. So we want you to rank the 6 elements in the order of importance to your rollout event. We want you to just rank them, and the Mentimeter link should be the number 3 on your digital handout, or I'm sure, yep, it's in the chat as well. So you can choose, you know, either 1 to 3, and if you want, you can feel free to write also in the chat why any of these, why you rank them the way that you did. You can also come off mute and discuss, you know, which and share out with the group which ones you thought were important to you.
I'll add, Farheen, I think it's important to recall that while all 6 of these are things we want to look at throughout the career as a VILS site, different seasons you may be focusing on different elements. So I think just because we may rank some higher today, mid-year you may rank them differently.
Good point, Steve. Wow, so I'm looking at the rankings, and thank you for everyone who's voting. Ooh, okay. I was rooting for equity.
Still could make a comeback. It's not over yet. Okay, well, I see that it's, you know, still everyone is still voting. We'll leave it open for a little bit more, right, Zach? We sure will.
Okay, and it's just interesting to see that leadership and policy, equity as a mindset, and family engagement definitely are coming as the top 3. We love to hear that. And that all makes sense. Like Steve said, in the beginning of the year, you have a different focus. So, you know, if anybody would like to share out why they voted the way that they did, we'd love to hear from you. Or go ahead and write it in the chat. We'll just take a few more minutes on this before we start showcasing our different schools.
I can go. Hello, everyone. So for me, it is the top 3, but I have a leadership team as the number 1. I think that everybody in the building and that leadership team, you know, it includes for me, the teachers and everybody involved have to be on the same page, so that when we actually communicate to our family, that's my second one, we're in one accord. So the family see the unity and they want to join that unity. And then once we have everybody, all the stakeholders in one place, then we definitely want to change those mindsets so that everybody can understand the importance of being equitable when it comes to technology and the changes that it brings, the positive changes that it brings to education, to the community, to our children. So I think that before we have equity as a mindset, we need to get everybody in one room and attempt to make those changes and then continue throughout the year so that they see that we're consistent.
Really good point. That buy-in and that messaging is so important, definitely early on. And at all levels in the school, your leadership team, your staff, definitely need that buy-in so people can see the value of the program. So thank you for sharing. Anybody else? Also, I see that people are sharing the chat as well. In the chat, Ashley is saying that she finds it interesting that the plan isn't first. The plan isn't first, since you kind of need one in mind before getting everyone on board and all the parts fitting together with the mindset of flexibility. So I think, yeah, what she is saying is that that buy-in again is really crucial to get everyone you know, on the same page to launch the program in the beginning of the year. Anybody else? All right, well, thank you, everyone, for sharing. So we will go on. I'm gonna hand it over now to Zach.
Thanks, Raheen. So we have the good fortune today to hear from Houston Independent School District, Jefferson County Public Schools, Milwaukee Public Schools, and Tucson Unified School District. And they're going to share some insights that they gleaned from their rollouts and have some visuals for us. I think it should be a lot of fun. So first, we'd like to welcome Houston as they share about their rollout for Powerful Learning. Take it away, Houston.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Greetings, everyone. My name is Javon Brown, and I co-manage the C9 Verizon Innovative Learning Schools with Tisha Mesa. At Houston ISD, we're in our third year of VILS partnership, and 26 of our 55 middle school campuses are VILS campuses. This year, deployment kicked off on the second week of school. Joining us today, we have VILS coaches Burley Silvestri, Brittany Zamora, and Isaac Imler. At this time, I'll hand over the mic to Brittany Zamora. Take it away, Brittany.
Thank you so much, Javon. If you wouldn't mind going to the next slide for me. Thank you so much. Okay, so for our deployment plan, we kind of pre-prepared several weeks in advance, and we decided to start by sending out detailed flyers and a detailed plan to all of our staff, as well as family members via our school website. We also did parent call outs that included a text message as well for those who were not able to receive phone calls. And up here at the top, we have several pictures of our tech team members who are now part of our team during the day. They're helping out our UDT deploy those devices to all the students. They prepared the bags and got all the accessories ready for them. And they also helped students log in to their devices, making sure that every student was able to get into their device right away. If you look at the slide, there are hyperlinks there if you would like to view those, but I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to Burley, who is with our DD Middle School, which is the Focus Campus. Oh, Burley, you're muted.
Thank you. Sorry about that. Hello, everyone. Yes, I am Burley Silvestri. Thank you, Brittany. I am with DD Middle School in Houston, and we were the hotspot school of the chosen campus. So one thing that we wanted to do once we became the chosen campus was that family engagement. We wanted to make sure that the parents were there and that they saw the assignment and everything that was coming to the school. So we sent out the paperwork ahead of time. We mailed them out so they knew what the big portion was. And once the same thing like Brittany, we sent flyers home, we put it on social media. We actually use our tech team to make sure that they post it on their social media because, you know, students have more friends and more peers. So that helped a lot. And then ensuring the preparation included a lot of STEM and hands-on activities so that they were engaged and that they saw the potential and everything coming because of that technology. I believe that's time, so I'm gonna pass it to Isaac Emler.
All right, thank you, Burley. And if you don't mind, thank you for going to the next slide. So there's just two things that I want to kind of talk about briefly. One of them, as Burley mentioned, is the STEM stations. So those Sphero minis that came with the package. Those were great. I'm sure Burley can come back on and talk a little bit about it, but we kept it simple. We just had mazes, obstacle course, races, and just an open play area. And it engaged the students and parents as well. And we had parents asking us, like, where could they buy these Spheros? And they just loved the engagement piece. It got them excited, it got families, younger siblings, older siblings excited. And it was, like I said, just real simple and engaging. The second part that I'd like to showcase is something that Tisha and Javon worked on, is that they worked to try and come to our campuses when we did this, just to show their support. But then also they made sure that each of us coaches were aware of each other's deployment and rollout process, so that if we had free time, if it was during the day or if it was after school or on the weekend, then, we could go and show our support and help each other out, which I think was really great. And I had the chance, I know some of the other coaches also had the chance to go to other coaches' campus and just help out, if it's with a presentation, if it's with a STEM station, getting paperwork together, devices out, and just having someone else. Because, as Ville's coaches, we're here on the campus by ourselves, and sometimes we think we're just doing this alone, and we know we're not. We know we have support, but to see other coaches from another campus that we talk to and interact with normally, to have them there physically, that just brings the support to a whole nother level. So those are just two things that I kind of want to showcase, which you'll see in the videos that we have attached with slides of most of our, I think all of our deployments from C9 should be on there.
And just to add to what Isaac said, that support was evident. And for me, and I actually went with him to one of the other campuses, and they went first before mine. So it gave us ideas. So actually going to those campuses and helping out actually gives you idea to what hands-on work, what doesn't work, for you to incorporate. So if you're able to, as a district, to help each other out, I recommend it. It was really great. Thank you.
So let's open it up. Thank you for sharing, Houston. That was terrific. Appreciate your insights. And let's just take a moment and first off reflect on what you heard. If you have some thoughts that you want to capture, add those to your planner. If you have some questions that you'd appreciate some follow-up or some more details, please use the chat, come off of mute and ask away.
And while they're doing that, I also wanted to add that reaching out to your community. Once we knew what we wanted, we reached out, we emailed everybody and anyone, and just hope that some people will show. We was fortunate enough to have a local artist from Houston, a Houston product, come out here. We have a large Hispanic population, and he's from Mexican descent, so that helped. And for him to come and showcase his artwork and connect it with science and the color of it, it was really great. So just reaching out to the community, you'd be surprised who wants to come and actually talk to the children and the parents. So that was also awesome.
Such great examples of both family and community engagement. Great question in the chat from Melissa. If you knew what you know now, how would you have planned differently?
Oh, I'll go ahead and start. Isaac, Burley, and myself actually attended one of our colleagues' rollouts and deployments before ours actually occurred. So knowing what we know now is having the setup in mind, knowing of how you want the flow to go so you can get kids in and out as quickly as possible, because you will run into a lot of password problems or problems with the Chromebooks. Like they're realizing that, well, I don't know what a good password looks like. I don't understand. How am I going to change this? Because our district actually rolled out a new password system where they actually have to create their own password now. And so that made it a lot more difficult. That took up a lot of our time.
And then to continue, yes, another great thing is making sure that you know who is in charge of what ahead of time and who's available to help, because it's one person is not going to do it. So one thing that I loved about Brittany is that she used her tech team right away. She has a really strong tech team. She has over 20 students. And it didn't happen 2 weeks after. No, she put them to work, they trained them, and they actually helped with the deployment. So if you have the time and the ability to do what Brittany did and get those tech team ready and train them and utilize those students and see and make them see hands-on what's all about, they get excited. Like, she has a whole bunch of students that are still on the waiting list because they want to partake. So actually using them ahead of time will be great. And of course, Brittany could share more about her tech team if you have questions about that.
That's excellent. So how many Chromebooks, there's some interest in how many Chromebooks you deployed yet in your rollout?
I actually have deployed 1,197. So it's quite a few Chromebooks, just making sure that paperwork was in, actually getting those Chromebooks out to the students and following back up. It's all about consistency and making sure that you follow up with that student each and every day. So that way you get the documentation that you need and make sure that they have the device that they need.
Deploying 1,100 devices, I could definitely see how you could focus on efficiency and getting people through the line quickly. Excellent.
For
Yeah,
us, we didn't have as many, as compared to Brittany. So our school has about 684. We right now are 679, just because we have some new students. The same thing. Sometimes, you know, they forget a signature. So the first week we were calling parents, and it was great to see that the parents were actually willing to come to school and sign those papers right away. But it goes back to building that community engagement and make them see the importance of it. So they were willing to come and sign it right in on the spot.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Yeah, please, Javon.
And collectively, as a district, we've deployed 4,710 devices across our multiple campuses.
Oh, excellent. Thank you so much, Houston. We want to make sure that we have time for everyone, so we are going to move ahead. Thanks for everything that you shared with us. We're going to come back to JCPS after they have a chance to work through their student dismissal. So let's next hear from Milwaukee.
Hello, I am Abby Felton. I am one of the coaches in Milwaukee. I work at Alba, and I'm presenting with Neil Easterling from another one of our middle schools, Metcalf. So in Milwaukee, we are there's 4 schools that are a part of C9, each of our 2 schools, as well as Garland and Lancaster. We've got 11 total schools, or 11 other schools that were a part of cohorts 7 and 8 that we are joining in. Our district serves about 71,000 students. 86% of those are economically disadvantaged. And at Alba, we have about 150 students that we did distribute devices to at this point.
And at Metcalf, we have about 88 currently, but it's always slightly in flux. Next slide, please. Do you want to go ahead, Debbie?
Sure. So a little bit about family and student engagement from our schools. So both of us really invited families and touched base with them during open houses prior to school starting. And then at Alba, we do home visits during the first few weeks of school, where our teachers meet all of the parents and talk with them about what to expect this school year, concerns, etc. And when they did that meeting, they really emphasized the importance of the Verizon program and our rollout event night, as well as digital citizenship and just being a part of this new program starting at Alba.
And at Metcalf, what we did was our primary focus was digital communications initially, and we did some phone calls, and we're doing video meetings with them now. But we started off with an engagement video, which you can see here. So I won't play it for you because it's a little bit long, because it also goes over the digital expectations. So the digital citizenship expectations of both the students and the parents. And we utilized, as you can see, the Nearpod in the background, as well as a couple of other Common Sense, which is part of the Nearpod, which is fantastic, I might add. So that's where we were working on at Metcalf. So we started off with the tech teams. So both tech teams at our school are a work in progress. However, we were able to integrate them into our rollout event. I had students leading STEM stations. So, and we'll talk a little bit more about the STEM stations on the next slide. But in particular, I had leaders step out and start teaching. Like I had one student who figured out the little bits and had learned how to do the coding at the end, an 8th grader who then started teaching everyone how to do it, including the staff. It was pretty spectacular, actually.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hello, and welcome to the Verizon.
Sorry about that.
At all the very similar things. Our student tech team, also a work in progress, but definitely knowing what I know now, it would have been very helpful to get them more on board on a more rapid pace. Our timeline was a little crunched at the beginning of the school year to get them ready, but I would have loved to have had them more involved at our STEM stations. So with that, we can chat a little bit about STEM stations. So at our actual event at Alba, we had families moving through different stations. We had all of our families complete paperwork at the event. We had sent it home prior to for families to take a look at, but then we wanted it all online and had families complete it there and then attend a informational meeting, and then they could go to the STEM stations or pick up their device. We had 3 different STEM stations set up at Alba. We had 2 of them used Spheros. So one of them, we just did like an obstacle course using the like kindergarten city mats and challenge students to drive the Spheros and stay on the road, which was pretty entertaining to see them try to figure that out. And then our other Sphero station we did in our art room, and there we had them use the draw function to try to draw different shapes and drive the Sphero through paint to actually see if they could draw the shape on paper with paint in the Sphero. Messy, but awesome. And then our last one, our school has Makey-Makeys. So students had the opportunity to explore with different materials to figure out what was the most conductive. And then we're able to challenge each other playing soccer.
At Metcalf, we had 4 different stations. One was Sphero Maze, which you can see down in the bottom right-hand corner. We also did a little bit. So the young lady who I was talking about who did the full teaching of the coding is right here at the very top. She was spectacular. We also did 2 other stations. One was we did the Spaghetti Marshmallow Tower for a little more hands-on experience with STEM. So they had to build spaghetti and then they put a marshmallow on top in order to do that. It doesn't connect directly to it, but it's a way to get them into the STEM activity as they start to revolve around. And then the last thing that we did is we have, as a district, we have access to Minecraft Education Edition. And so one of the things we're working on is being able to use that in the classroom. So we did a station on the Minecraft Education Edition and the lessons that they could do in the students. We had a student teaching that who was a big gamer with Minecraft. So it was pretty simple to have the student actually teach that out. So that's where we worked on at Metcalf. So I guess we'll go ahead, like any questions about what we did at Milwaukee and how we executed what we were working on.
Thank you, Milwaukee team. I was going to say really good initial use of your tech teams and those STEM kits. With both of those aspects, you're really sparking curiosity and hopefully gathering interest so that you could get, more interest in the tech teams as the year goes on.
To answer the question in the chat, this is year 1 for each of us. This is year 3 for the district. So this is the 3rd. So we have C7 and C8 as well as C9, and Abby and I both are part of C9. Thank you, Neva. Thank you, Carolyn. Absolutely, Steve. No question. I mean, if there are no questions, we don't need to take the time. We can give it back to our other cohorts.
Perfect. Thank you, Milwaukee. Okay, we will welcome Tucson to the stage.
Tucson. Tucson is a land of rattlesnakes and scorpions. We are Tucson Unified School District. My name is Alicia Pasenica, and I am the Vills coach at Alice Vale Middle School.
Hello, everyone. My name is Emil Atalla. I'm the instructional coach for innovative learning at Seacrest Middle School. And we are both the C9 schools.
Tucson Unified School District is the largest school district in southern Arizona. We are dedicated to creating a joyful, safe place for student success. Our district became a one-to-one school district this year due to the VILS program.
This year, 3 Tucson Unified Schools received their Verizon Innovative Learning Initiative. These schools are Alice Vale Middle School, Seacrest Middle School, and Otterbag Middle School. I will let Alicia talk about all the great things on her side.
Next slide, please. Our iPad rollout successes are contributed to our magnificent student tech teams. Student tech teams delivered an exceptional user experience for our students. They were able to check in and log in students with wonderful customer service. In the case of Vail, upwards of 600 student iPads were assisted by student tech teams. And then in the middle, there's a flyer there. This flyer is from Seacrest that they put out. Family engagement took many forms. In this case, it was a flyer that parents and families used to access the user family agreement with that QR code. And for Vail, a parent took charge of an immersive installation that had colored streamers, and the students could pass through the streamers and embody the green, the yellow, and the red iPad behaviors. Tucson Unified School District implements a digital citizenship curriculum through the classroom teachers. That will continue throughout the school year. Over to you, Emil.
All righty, can you go to the next slide, please? So our school community was very excited about this privilege. Everyone is optimistic about the impact this program will have on our students' learning. Parents and students are very excited because now they have access to a device and internet at home. Teachers are excited now because now they can incorporate unique, non-traditional activities to encourage, motivate, and teach our students new skills. Our leadership is so happy that to see that the equity achieved and learning taken to the next level. A little bit about the device deployment. Our school had like 320 iPads deployed, and we are the first year coaches, as I mentioned. We had a fantastic rollout event this year. Everything was well planned and organized, which helped in having a successful and smooth rollout. We have designed flyers and posters to promote our event on social media and school side. Our celebration was broadcasted on local news channel and the district website. And thanks to the Verizon and TUSD points of contact for supporting us and being very responsive to our questions and needs. Our faculty members were so professional and they were running the stations in the rollout event. Our student tech team, just like Alicia mentioned, they did a great job in helping guide our families throughout the process. And last but not least, our leadership ensured we had all the tools we needed to make our rollout a success. One activity we did during the rollout to make the families engaged was having a photo booth, and everyone had to take selfies with their iPads and then submitting them to a Wakelet, and then for a chance to win a prize the next day with a raffle. That's it for us.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Questions, things you would like some more information about? I would love to hear how you had what it took to get the local newscasts to come and cover your event and what they were interested in recording.
So our district point of contact, they were the ones who contacted, like we suggested this to them, like, can you get the social social media, the district social media, and the news channels, and they were like so happy to hear that, and they invited them, and they came, and they documented everything. Like, they were taking pictures and taking videos, and then some of these pictures you see here, I think they're from the news. Yeah, we were there.
It's great. I think just we've heard this from all three districts so far, but anytime there's a rollout, right, it is a celebration of the positive things that are happening at your school, not just the fact that devices are being put in the hands of students. And so I think it's always a great way to tell your story. And whatever it is, whatever your focus is, I love hearing, Houston bringing in a local artist, and Milwaukee connecting to the great uses of technology that are already happening, and highlighting students who have those skills and can showcase them. So whatever it is, you all have, every district has things that they're working on, and this is a great opportunity to share with the community the awesome things that are happening in your school, in addition to handing out some devices. So thank you for treating it as a celebration.
And there's one more question from the chat. They wanted to know if you rolled out before or after school had started.
We rolled out after school started. Like, school started here in August 4th, and we rolled out on September 7th.
The same thing for you. The same thing for
Yeah.
Houston.
Because we're such a large district that people are moving in and out very, very often to different schools around the district. So they don't want the device starting in one place and then getting lost between one place and another.
Same thing here from Milwaukee.
Great points, actually, that you kind of want everything to settle down. And we also suggest, rolling out some of those digital citizenship lessons in those first few weeks, so that students know about device care by the time they receive the device. Okay, I think we have to go on to our last district, Zach.
All right.
So let's welcome Jefferson County Public Schools.
Okay, hello, can everyone hear me?
We sure can.
Great. Got dismissal going on in clubs in the background, so I'm trying to make sure you're not picking up background noise. I'm in a closet like Kat. So in Jefferson County, we're the largest school system in the state of Kentucky and the 30th largest in the United States. So with that comes a lot of needs for our children. So being part of the Bills schools is really a godsend, because it really allowed our schools to become one-to-one and meet those needs. We have a large population of ECE kids at my school, over 140 languages spoken. So having that technology has really been a game changer for our school in particular. And so there's just 2 schools in JCPS in cohort 9. And we're the first cohort within JCPS to have Chromebooks. So while we are standing on the shoulders of those who came before us, they had the iPads. And so it's been really interesting to compare and see the differences in technology and utilization of the Chromebooks versus iPads. So I've enjoyed those conversations that we've had. So I'm at Highland Middle School, and we have about 820 to 830. And then Kat is at Ramsey, and I think they've got about 1,100 kids. So it was a large rollout. Then I think next slide, yeah. And just like those before us had mentioned, we also rolled out after school began. And so that gave us an opportunity to utilize the digital citizenship lessons, and we used the common sense curriculum. And we did, 6th grade for the entire school, since this was our first year as a Ville school, and being one-to-one, in fact, as a building. And then our plan is to make sure we continuously provide digital citizenship curriculum throughout the year, and check in and connect and update as needed for the devices. And the ways that they can be utilized as well. So we both have student tech teams that are the best part of my day. I have them for 45 minutes, and while I'm out of the classroom, it's still really nice to have that class a day, and really we get to get stuff done and deploy them out to all the 70 classrooms in the building with their tech issues, so we're able to put out fires before they spread and really get the devices working.
Hi, this is Kat. I am at Ramsey Middle School in JCPS. Can you go back to the last slide real quick? Just real quick. I just did want to mention that Christy and I both used as many digital tools as we could to launch the parent agreements and really reach them however we could. That started with emails from the principal. And then we also created QR codes for kids to take home so their parents could scan them. And then we found that, we have about 1,800 devices. We're at about 96% deployed of those devices. And we were noticing that the students who were left were the ones who were not native English speakers. So you've been using Google Voice to text parents in their native language, kind of explain the program and give them a copy of the parent agreement. We can go to the next slide. Rollout events, we both Highland and I and Ramsey had open house events. So in this upper left-hand corner, you'll see a picture of our academy students, and JCPS has academies that kind of allow students to explore career options while they're still in middle school, and then they kind of branch out into those once they're in high school. So we had students from our healthcare academy, robotics and business and communications who were trying, they did a great job of explaining their academies and how the VILS program is going to help with those. We did really get the whole school involved. If you see over here on the right, I've got these gentlemen putting together chargers. They were thrilled. The young lady in the middle was just so happy. She hugged her Chromebook and she almost started crying. She said, "I'm so excited. I've just been waiting so long for this." Another thing I wanted to mention, we did get the devices pushed out as fast as possible because JCPS has a digital backpack of success skills where students work on, I know it's really hard to see, but effective communicator, emerging innovator, prepared and resilient learner, globally and culturally competent citizen, and productive collaborator. And what it does is it allows students to upload artifacts that demonstrate mastery. So last year, what we saw was a lot of work done on paper and then uploaded to the backpack, which was great, right? That's all they could do. But we've already seen in this 6-week grading period that students are going from consuming technology to using technology to create, and they are already putting very meaningful artifacts in their backpack. So that's been one of the most exciting things for us to see that it was instant, like they got the device and they knew what to do with it. And we already have, evidence and artifacts of students creating. Any questions?
I have a question. What led you all to go to Chromebooks versus iPads?
That is a great question. That was a district decision. I personally prefer the Chromebook. I just feel like as far as classroom teacher and students, it's easier to use. But that was a district decision. Yes, Farheen, we are communicating with the other schools that have gone before us, and it is kind of interesting to see the difference. I personally prefer the Chromebook. I'm happy we have them. Any other questions? Yes, Brittany, I agree.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and come back on for just a moment to say let's all give all 4 of these districts some love. Let's just show them a little love in the chat, if you will. I know some of you already were bragging on them. First of all, being the first presenters is always a little unnerving, but then thinking about standing up and showing off, it's a good one of those brag moments, right? You think about all the things that you've done, and I think some of the earlier questions about what would you have done differently. I know there's always time for reflection and thinking about what you're going to do, but think about what you have done at this point. There's so much. I love the opportunities for students to see and experience. The student tech teams are where I got excited when y'all were really talking about that and making them actually part of the rollout. So yeah, thank you. I'm seeing a lot of appreciation there, and I do. And I was thinking as Emil was wrapping up his section, he talked about prizes and giveaways and raffles, and guess what? That's what I get to do right now. So, all summer long, we started in May, trying to help you all prepare for some of the things that were coming. And now we're kind of culminating the end of all summer long. We've had, if you participated in the quizzes, we had random drawings. And so I am about to announce from webinar number 9 and from webinar number 10 our latest winners for the vast prize of, I'll just say, untold riches you're going to receive, right? So anyway, with that, we'll give us our little drum roll here as Zach advances a slide for me, and we're going to congratulate Patrick from Broward County Bayer Middle School, LaShonda from Houston Independent Williams, and then over webinar 10, it was Raquel from Cleveland Metro Euclid Park School, and Brittany from Houston ISD Stevenson Middle School. So thank you all. Congratulations for just participating and being there. And you think, wow, I went all summer long and I didn't win anything. Oh, guess what? We have one more opportunity for you. We are going to have an additional rollout showcase for those that were later doing rollout. But during that time, as you can see on the slide, we're going to have a grand prize drawing. And what we're going to do is take all the entries, whether you've won or not, and they're all going to be put in. So if you participated in, say, 10 or 11 of those, you may have 10 or 11 options in that entry. And so we're going to stir them all up. We'll come out with a drawing and have our grand prize winner that we'll announce at our showcase. So October 12th will be that showcase. It's going to be part of the built-in IT monthly meeting that we have. It's on our schedule. So part of that meeting will be our regular IT monthly meeting, and then part of that meeting will be the rollout showcase for the 4 schools you see listed here. So come back, participate in that meeting, see if you're a grand prize winner or not. So I think, Zach, that wraps us up. I've given the plug for that, and you'll see it there. If you've not done so, make sure that you look in your digital handout. Link number 7 is the Zoom link to register. Most of you have gotten an okay. I won't call names, but I'll just say Rebecca Lama, clone 1, 2, and 3 that came in. Make sure that you do your own registration using those links, and you can come into these meetings with your own name. So yeah, we love to see that. We'll see you all 2 o'clock Eastern, 11 o'clock Pacific. And with that, we'll hang around for a few more minutes if anybody has any questions or comments. But you all enjoy the rest of the afternoon and a couple of minutes back at the gift of time. So thank you.